All right, today is September the 29th, 2015, and this is the Northeast Pacific Water Vapor Loop, and we're continuing to watch this onshore flow, this Pineapple Express flow right here that has been sort of manufactured, that's being pinched. This flow is being set up because of a high pressure here and a channel of a very dry air that's been set up through this area here in order to keep all these thunderstorms and weather away from all this stormy weather here. They've got this all separated out. We had this hurricane over here. This was Marty, went ashore today. It's no longer a hurricane. It's now a tropical storm, and it went ashore not before it was blown apart. And we'll take a quick look at that here in a few minutes. Let's go and look at this in the, this is the color infrared loop, and we can see that there's quite a bit of moisture up here in this storm. That's a 972 millibar storm right here over the Aleutian Islands. That should bring a lot of rain, except for they've got high pressure all through here. All right, let's take a look at the pressure map. This is the Pacific Surface Analysis map, and this is that storm we were just looking at. 976 millibar right here. That's a huge cold front. We've got another low here, and this is that stationary gale that was identified a few days ago. It's sitting off of California, just stationary. It's still sitting there, and then of course we've got that high pressure in right here. So nothing has really changed except for the fact that this storm has gained quite a bit of strength, and so that means that they'll just pump up this high pressure even higher to run that over into Canada. All right, so now here is the wave analysis for the North Pacific, and we can see that there are some significant swells being generated by that storm. 23 feet is the average height of the highest 1/3 of the waves. So there are some higher swells, probably 25 feet, 26 feet in that area. So that's a very strong storm at 976 millibar, even by winter standards. Okay, let's look at the hurricane map. And Marty is no longer a hurricane. He fizzled out after he was blown apart. And so we've got 50-mile-per-hour winds and 999 millibar pressure. And we'll get to see the destruction of Marty here in a second. Meanwhile, there's another disturbance here with a 40% chance of hurricane formation in 2 days. So we're going to watch that too. Okay, let's move on to the, this is the East Pacific Water Vapor Loop. And we can see a portion of Marty in the corner here as it moves ashore. Right here is Marty, the remnants of it. He's getting blown apart. There's quite a bit of blast waves right along this area here. And we can see some water vapor shooting out against this flow. We've got an onshore flow from a high pressure right here. There's something trying to spin up here, but we can see that that's being blown apart, and there's actually water vapor shooting against this high pressure flow which is moving in. Let's take another look at this in the yeah, I don't think I have that in any other view. Okay, let me get this set up a little better. Okay, all right, well, here is the Eastern East Pacific, and we're watching Marty right here. This is the very tail end of Marty getting blown apart right there. Hope you can see that. There's quite a bit of violent activity right there as Marty moves on shore near Acapulco, which is a tourist resort in Mexico. Let's look at this in the rainbow infrared loop. And we can see, well, there's a little detail there, but we can see the destruction a little bit better over in the water vapor loop right here. You can see blast pattern right there in the last frame. right there. So, and also the core is being imploded right there. And that's probably a microwave, a maser, which generates coherent microwave energy, and that would certainly heat water vapor very quickly. And that's probably what they're using. So nobody's told me otherwise. But they've got to heat these somehow, and it's probably not a laser, because a laser is too damaging, although it probably could be done with a laser. But a maser, water vapor will absorb certain frequencies of microwave energy, and so it has to be carefully tuned. That is, the exact frequency has to be just right for that water vapor to fully absorb all the energy and to heat the water vapor. All right, let's go on to the. Now here's the East Pacific visible loop. This is Marty right here again, and we're watching. We can see some shock waves, a blast pattern here, and we can see some shock waves right here on the tail end of that loop. Okay, I don't know how well you can see that, but it is occurring. There's a lot of violent activity here, and they've got it looks like they've got an overlay here, so we cannot see. There's like a fluorescent overlay over the top of that storm in the last few frames, and they've been doing this lately, which that hides a lot of detail. It hides the exact moment where the pock mark shows up, and we see the actual blast occur. Okay, now here's the East Coast. This is Tropical Storm Joaquin. Very large storm. It's about to become a hurricane. It has 70-mile-per-hour winds and is moving to the it's moving to the west-southwest towards Cuba, right over here. And notice that there's a very strong headwind here. There appears to be, and that's because of a HAARP transmitter is planted right next to this core, and so we can see that the core is fully exposed right here on the northern side of that storm, and that's to keep this storm right here from moving into the United States. They don't want this getting anywhere near this system here, which is moving right into the Northeast. This is forecast to dump anywhere from 4 to 12 inches of rain in various areas of the Northeast. So we'll have to keep an eye on this. They may be shutting down airports. We'll just have to keep an eye on that. We've got a low out here that has a HAARP transmitter on it right here. And this is not going anywhere. Otherwise, this would spool up into a giant hurricane or a huge storm. So obviously that's being attended to. That's a HAARP transmitter right there. We've got one right here. Okay, let's go on and look at the, and we can see the intensity of Joaquin. Very intense storm. And also right here, a lot of rain. They're talking about 4 to 12 inches of rain in certain areas on the East Coast, in New York, Pennsylvania. Probably hear about that on the news tonight. Okay, now let's look at this is the Caribbean water vapor loop. We can see a little better image of Joaquin right here. The tail is sweeping around down towards, well, we've got the Gulf up here. But generally, it's moving in a sort of a clockwise pattern. We've got this high pressure, so that's spinning everything clockwise. All right, so we'll just keep an eye on that and see what develops. Okay, meantime, out here on the west coast, we still have all this moisture moving right into California. And I've been unable to get a hold of my connection up in the northern part of the state to indicate if there's plenty of chemtrails in the skies or not. But somebody's been posting messages on this account stating that there's a lot of chemtrails up in Sacramento, and I would probably guess that that's true, because obviously there's a lot of rain potential here, and they're going to stop that. So if anybody out there is from Sacramento, leave a comment or two on what's going on up there. Okay, so we'll do another update tomorrow. Thanks for watching.